With our partner Chorus, a lack of wind postponed Sunday racing for the America's Cup, with the score between Team New Zealand and Dunarossa tied at 3-3. It's exciting, isn't it? Thousands of fans packed out the viaduct. On land, on the water, Mark was there getting hit by a champagne cork in his nose, as more boats than ever crowded the Waitemata. Joining us now from the viaduct is America's Cup veteran Ken Reid. Ken, g'day, good morning, lovely to have you back on the program.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
If you're not into this America's Cup, you're living under a rock, because, boy, it is exciting in the sense that those who win the start seem to win the race. It's all eyes on the start, isn't it? You can't miss the start.
Well, pressure's ramping up. I think in this lighter air that we've had so far, there's no question that the start becomes that much more important. What I'm hoping for is enough breeze, not only to have races, but enough breeze to actually make this a little more exciting. It makes it closer, mistakes, maybe a mistake or two. Problem is, these guys are all sailing these boats perfectly right now, and there's just not many mistakes.
We need some knots. So what sort of knots do we need? Is it 15 knots that'll get things going, or what sort of wind are we looking for?
Well, so I kind of feel like the weatherman here today, and I've been asked 1,000 times already, and we kind of look like maybe 12, 13, 14 knots of breeze today, and that actually gets them up and going. So not only can we see racing, first of all, foremost, but we could see some good jockeying for position. But you know what? The pressure is on Spithill and Burling. These guys, you got to win the start still right now. Until proven otherwise, winning the start is really the most critical thing.
Is this what we're looking for, but no one really wants to admit it? Are we looking for mistakes? Are we looking for a possible capsize? Are we looking for something like a big nosedive? No one really talks about this, but is this the unspoken what we're looking for type thing?
Oh, I'll talk about it. Yes, I am.
You cruel man.
Well, I have to talk about this for 2 hours every day, right, to a global audience. So, I have to admit, it's more fun for me as a commentator now. Now, when I was competing in the America's Cup, of course, you're looking to have zero mistakes. So it's amazing once you switch over to your dark side, to your media side, how your perspective changes in the world.
Ken, we are now obviously on the Monday, still 3 races each. So how likely is it, do you think, that we will go to all 13 races? And how good is that for the Cup and also for fans?
Well, it's great for sailing, it's great for fans, it's great for sport, it's great for New Zealand, frankly. It shows off your beautiful country around the world that much more. I have been wrong every step of the way with my guesswork pre-regatta, so I'm probably I think everybody has been. Nobody's expected anything that has actually happened so far. So that means we probably will go all the way to the end, because nobody really expected it. Everybody was really thinking that one of these teams was going to have a big jump, and sure enough, not yet. Nothing's been proven yet. But this new wind condition, this little different wind strength, could show off one boat a little better than the other. We're just going to have to wait and see.
Can you just talk us through these winds? Like, what are the actual rules? What are the minimum and maximum knots that are required for racing? Like, how long does the first race or leg have to be before you call it quits, and also for the entire race?
Well, you're putting me under the gun here. So it's, I think it's 6.5 knots at the bottom end, and it's an average. So it's a rolling average over a period of time. That average has to be above 6.5 knots. I believe you have to get to the weather mark, to the first gate, in 12 minutes, if I remember correctly, and the entire race is 45 minutes. You have to be done in 45 minutes. So the thing is, though, if it blows less than 6.5 knots, they can't get up on the foils anyway. So it almost becomes a moot. The time limit almost becomes a moot point, because they're never going to make it if they can't get up on the foils. They're not displacement boats, and they never will be.
People want to see passing. They want to see that close racing. Are the courses too narrow? Could they have made them wider and bigger, and would that create it?
I don't think so, because match racing, especially once you get really good at it, has always been about starts. When I did the 2000 and 2003 Cup here, I think it was something like 89% of the races were won at the start. Because the teams just get so good. We saw so many passes before because we had nosedives and spinouts and wipeouts and even capsizes from time to time. So they made these boats really hard for the sailors to sail, but like all America's Cups, the sailors figure it out eventually. They're that good. The athletes are better than how you try to make the extreme technology. The athletes catch up sooner or later.
So is part of the issue that if you win the start, then you basically sail like a very sort of conservative, just sail the course, and that doesn't really create pressure, and the boat behind is playing what we would call catch-up footy, taking more risks?
Well, no question, but these two boats have very different sailing styles. It seems like when the Kiwis get out in front, they just leg it out. They spread the. It's like I'm sure in rugby it's the same type of. Some fast teams will just spread it out. Other teams will just grind it. Well, the Italians are grinders. They just keep handing the ball off and run right down the middle, whereas the Kiwis like to spread it out and try to be fast and run wide. So it is two different sailing styles right now. But they're both obviously representing the same result.
You can stay on after the America's Cup. There's a rugby commentary job going. You've got it bang on. Absolutely bang on. Crusader style, blue style.
I think I butchered.
No, you were pretty,
I think
we're
I butchered
America's
that.
Cup
I'm
victory.
sure I did.
No, you were bang on. Ken Reid, appreciate your time on the program this morning. We're 2 away from 8 o'clock.